Hello students, in the previous video we learned the difficult words of this lesson. In this video we will read the lesson. Let's start. This extract is from the autobiography My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Dorrell. Dorrell was an expert in studying animals. When he was 10 years old, Dorrell, his older siblings, and his mother moved to Corfu in Greece to live with Dorrell's grown up brother, Larry. It was here that Dorrell began to collect and keep animals as pets. The crumbling wall that surrounded the garden alongside the house was a rich hunting ground for me. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over, but now this outer skin was green with moss, bulging and sagging with the damp of many winters. The whole surface was an intricate map of cracks, some several inches wide, others as fine as hairs. Here and there, large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks laying beneath. The inhabitants of the wall were a mixed lot, and they were divided into day and night workers, the haunters and the haunted. At night, the Toads and the geckos were the haunters. Their prey was the population of stupid, absent minded crane flies, moths of all shapes and sizes, and rodent beetles, hurrying with their night's work. By day, it was difficult to tell the difference between the prey and the predators. Everything seemed to feed off everything else. The hunting wasps searched out caterpillars and spiders. The spiders hunted for flies. The dragonflies fed off the spiders and the flies, and the swift, multicolored wall lizards fed off everything. But my favorites were the shyest member of the wall community who did not seek any attention. They were also the most dangerous. You hardly ever saw one unless you looked for it, and yet there must have been several hundred living in the cracks of the wall. If you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster away from the brick, there crouching beneath it would be a little black scorpion, an inch long, looking as tough he were made out of polished chocolate. They were weird looking things with their flattened oval bodies, their neat crooked legs, the enormous crab like claws, bulbous and neatly jointed as armor, and the tail like a string of brown beads, ending in a sting like a rose thorn. The scorpion would lie there quite quietly as you examined him, only raising his tail as a warning sign if you breathed too hard on him. Then one day I found a fat female scorpion in the wall, wearing what at first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made up of a mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. I was enraptured by this family, and I made up my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom so that I might keep them and watch grew up. With infinite care, I moved the mother and family into a matchbox and then hurried to the villa. It was rather unfortunate that just as I entered the door, lunch should be served. However, I placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in the drawing room and made my way to the dining room and joined the family for the meal. Dawdling over my food, feeding Roger surreptitiously under the table and listening to the family arguing, I completely forgot about my exciting new captures. At last, Larry, having finished, fetched the cigarettes from the drawing room and laying back in his chair, he put on in his mouth and picked up the matchbox he had brought, oblivious that the end of my happy days was about to come. I watched my eldest brother in, interestedly as, still talking loudly, he opened the matchbox. Now I insist to this day that the female scorpion meant no harm. She was nervous and a little annoyed at being shut up in a matchbox for so long, and so she seized the first opportunity to escape. She pulled herself out of the box with great rapidity, her babies clinging on desperately, and scuttled on the back of Larry's hand. There, no quite certain what to do next, she paused, her sting curved up at the ready. Larry, feeling the movement of her claws, glanced down to see what it was, and from that moment things got increasingly confused. He uttered a roar of fright, sorry. He uttered a roar of fright that brought Roger out from beneath the table, barking wildly. Roger is a dog. With a flick of his hand, he sent the unfortunate scorpion flying down the table, and she landed midway between Margot and Leslie, scattering babies like confetti as she thumped on the cloth. And with that, there was a rapid change from peace to chaos. Thoroughly enraged at this treatment, the creature sped toward Leslie, her sting quivering, quivering with emotion. Leslie leapt to his feet, overturning his chair, and flicked out desperately with his napkin, sending the scorpion rolling across the cloth towards Margot, who promptly let out a scream that only railway engine would have been produce, proud to produce. Look out, they are coming, screamed Margot. All we need is a book, roared Leslie. Don't panic, hit them with a book. Mother, completely bewildered by this sudden and rapid change from peace to chaos, put on her glasses and peered down the table to see what was causing the pandemonium. And at that moment, Margot, in a vain attempted to stop the scorpion's advance, hurled a glass of water at it. The shower of water missed the animal completely but successfully drenched Mother, who, not being able to stand cold water, promptly lost her breath and sat gasping at the end of the table, unable to protest even. Get a knife, hit them with a book, shouted Larry. That boy will kill the lot of us. Bah! Look at the table, knee deep in scorpions. Kill them. Oh no, don't hurt them. I'll catch them. I pleaded until eventually, backed up by Mother Leslie's suggestion that the whole lot be killed was quashed. By the time a certain amount of order had been restored, all the baby scorpions had hidden themselves under various plates and bites of cutlery. The results of this incident were numerous. While the family, still feeling angry and frightened, moved to the sitting room, I spent half an hour rounding up the babies, picking them up in a teaspoon and returning them to their mother's back. Then I carried them outside on a saucer and reluctantly released them on the garden wall. Roger and I went and spent the afternoon on the hillside, for I felt it would be wise to allow the family to have a break before seeing them again. Larry developed a phobia about matchboxes, but from my point of view, the worst repercussion of the whole affair was that mother decided to try to stop me from exploring the animal world. You are running wild again. It is high time you received a little more education. She said, I am getting you a tutor. Okay, students, here the reading of this lesson in English is finished. In the next video, I will try to read this story with Urdu translation for you. Subscribe to this channel and see you in the next video.